today I'm really excited to introduce our panelists and guests. So I'll first introduce Paddy. So Paddy is a co-founder and CEO of Multipl. It is basically a spend investing app, which is a really new category for most of us. And you guys should definitely check it out. And it's more focused on investing for your lifestyle spends. A lot of us save to spend it somewhere, right? So Paddy, in fact, is building a tool or a platform which kind of allows you to invest for things that you're going to buy. Instead of doing the traditional investing where you're not sure that, okay, can I buy it or not? You invest it into something, and this is my personal experience. I invest it for something else, and I buy something else. So I think that's a really interesting platform that Paddy is building. And prior to Multipl, Paddy founded an enterprise software company which got acquired by Cisco. So he's been two-time founder now. This is three-time founder, yeah. And also on the other side of the table, we have Saket, who's the lead and heading the marketplaces at Flipkart. And he's been associated with Flipkart for
almost 8 years.
8 years now. And prior to that, I think you were with Blackbuck.
I worked at Blackbuck for 1 year.
Yeah. So that's Saket. So Saket and Paddy, thanks for joining me in. And without wasting any more time, I'll probably just quickly jump into the topic that we are going to discuss, which will be primarily around marketplace dynamics, right? Since most of us over here are in D2C space, and marketplace is like the go-to way of selling things or reaching the customers, right? So I would like to understand from both of you all, like since Paddy, you work very closely with a lot of D2C brands and very digital native brands, and Saket, you are leading marketplaces. What do you see the current marketplace trends like, right? In past couple of years, we have seen now earlier, like Abdullah was mentioning, ONDC, right? ONDC was more or less a thought which is an afterthought that came when e-commerce boom happened. Right. So what are those trends that you guys are seeing in the past couple of years? Probably to start with, Saket, if you can start, then probably Paddy can add on to this. Yeah.
Sure. So just to quickly tell you what I do at Marketplace. So I lead the entire selection team for mobiles, large electronics and furniture. So whatever you're not able to find on Flipkart, that is my responsibility to go and get the right set of vendors or get the right set of marketplace sellers to latch on to those listings and start selling. So that is one vertical that I lead, and the other vertical that I lead is the large appliances. So AC, fridge, washing machine is something that I lead end to end on the marketplace. I have also been working on a very cool project in Flipkart that was known as Brands on Marketplace, BMP, right? So over the last 6 months, I think I've studied a lot of data on what is working on for these brands on the platform. Something that I really saw and was amazed to see that in the 0 to 200 ASP category, right? The widely distributed brands, which are the PNGs, right? They have not been able to crack the marketplace in the 0 to 200. But in that same segment, the D2Cs have disrupted that market. The kind of growth that I saw in the 0 to 200, I was amazed to see that, some bigger players in the 0 to 200, they cannot leave a mark, but D2Cs are killing it in that particular price segment. And as in when I was going above in the price range, I was seeing the D2C share of business was declining, right? And WDs were picking up, which is widely distributed, right? In the 1000 ASP and above segment, we had the lowest share of D2C play. So I think that is one area where D2C can really make a mark. I think that's the genuine behavior of a customer also, right? When you go to a platform, you feel that if I'm buying a high price product, it should come from a genuine, well-known, widely distributed brand. I may not be able to trust a D2C in that segment. So I think that's the question that people have in their mind. that is something that needs to change. And as in when these D2C brands start becoming a bigger brand, widely distributed, I think that is when they will start seeing higher growth in that particular price segment. But that is one of the things that I wanted to share. A thing that I saw, that 0 to 200, amazing work, I think, over the last couple of years, that especially in the books and general merchandise category, the share was the highest of growth. Lifestyle is where D2C is still struggling. By lifestyle, I mean, I think there's still a lot of scope of, the new age brands coming into this space. Widely distributed is still very high in the lifestyle segment. D2C has still a lot of scope in that particular area. So these are the couple of things that I could share on the dynamics.
Yeah. Paddy, any thoughts?
Cool. Thanks for having me here, first up. So at Multipl, the angle to D2C, so we are like Sai introduced, we are a platform which helps you to invest for your spends, or what we call a spend vest. This is basically for large ticket purchases. This could be for your travel, your next iPhone, or those sort of big ticket purchases. You could plan, invest, and then spend. So that's the core platform. But we also have a rewards platform, which is where the D2C angle comes in. So this is more like so it's a positive product. What Multipl is actually helping you do is to spend better. So we are not a preachy product which is asking you not to be aspirational, but be aspirational in a smarter way. And that's the core of it. And for the positive behavior, we give our own in-app currency called Embeds, which you can use for transacting on the D2C brands. So that is the rewards platform that we have, which is the connect to D2C. And I mean, just to give that context, where Multipl is connected to D2C. Within that, the trends that we are spotting, we are seeing, Saket mentioned very deep insight coming from Flipkart. He would have the data. For us, it's still early, but here what we are actually seeing is in terms of the user demographics, right? So you can look at us as a slightly premium product in the sense we target people who have the money, right? Because you have to invest and then spend. So basically people with income greater than, who are in the tax bracket. So, and within that there are different demographics. There is early jobbers, then there are dinks, 25 to 35, and then the families. So the brands themselves have to cater to specific niche. Within these demographics, how do you relate to this? So that becomes very critical. For an early jobber, if you are actually spending a lot of money, and if you are let's say a product for moms, and you are actually pitching this to early jobbers, then that's a wasted time and money. So that becomes very crucial to identify, is this the right target for us? Is this within the marketplace itself, are you reaching the right set of audiences with the right product? That becomes crucial, and that sort of a data point collection I'm seeing with a lot of these successful brands are getting that insight, talking to the marketplaces, getting this information back, and then pitching their products accordingly. So that sort of a trend that is evolving. The successful ones, the better ones are actually doing this, and I'm sure this is something that gets picked up by all the brands so that they get the right set of visibility.
Right, so like you were rightly mentioning, right, with regards to placement of the brand. And Saket, I think I would start with you. And even in our earlier conversations, we were discussing how it is very challenging to place a brand or position it within the marketplace. So how do you think any brand can navigate this whole challenge of, again, it's not just about placing, but again, another thing which I'm hearing from you guys is the premium price segment, right? Again, the pricing strategy has to be in line with that, otherwise positioning that brand wouldn't really help. So how do you see marketplaces could actually add an advantage to a D2C brand or any brand, right? And how can brands leverage this being on the marketplace? So if you can share some insight on that, yeah.
See, first of all, to position yourself, right? So that a lot of people are able to understand you as a brand. What do you want to sell? What is your product like? I think there's a lot of money which is involved, right? To create your own website, to do social media marketing, performance marketing, have those kind of influencers in place, just to ensure that people know about your product. So I think a lot of brands who start small, who have a lot of power in their product, it's not sure that you will have a lot of money to pump in the first couple of months. And I think that is when you take help from a marketplace which is well known, who has a great pin code penetration, right? For example, Amazon, Flipkart. These are kind of marketplaces where you list your products first, understand what kind of consumers are buying your product, what kind of reviews or ratings your products are getting, to work on your product, right? Is your packaging correct or not? You talk to your key account managers, understand what is working out, what is not, what kind of audiences are sharing, what kind of feedback for your product. So I think the initial traction for your brand is something that marketplace gives you, which will take a lot of time for you to understand if you launch your own website and start selling. I think that is something that you should do in parallel, but for sure the initial boost or kick-off sales is something that you definitely get from marketplace. In fact, we have a team called Next Gen Brands in the D2C team. What they do is they help you initially to grow your brand on Flipkart, right? So obviously you have to reach there. It's not like we have a very big team and we will be able to cater to all the D2C brands out there. Firstly, you have to start small. You have to show the positive results on the platform, and then probably through a help of a key account manager, you can be a part of that next gen brand where you are able to get that additional visibility on the platform. You get those data insights, right? That where do you position yourself, what kind of pricing you should be operating at, because it may happen that in the same segment a widely distributed brand is playing very well, or there are other D2C players who are doing good in that area, right? So how do you differentiate yourself from them? Through pricing, through reach to the customers. So I think these kind of insights will only be possible if you are a part of a marketplace. If you are running solo through your own website or performance marketing, it's not like you can't get there, but you'll get there through a lot of hardships, failure, and loss of money as well. So I think these are the pointers through which a marketplace can help you in your journey to successfully be a good starter.
So from what I'm hearing from you is it's one of the best decisions or one of the best approaches that a early stage brand, let's say D2C or any brand, is that they use the marketplace strategy rather than trying to build their own
I'll just give you an
website
example.
and all of
I'll just
these
give you an
things.
example as a consumer, right?
Yeah.
I was sick and tired of using the same kind of toothpaste, right? Like
Correct,
that's a very a product which is found in every home,
Correct.
right? And toothpastes have not changed the taste or the packaging since years. And I think 2-3 years back, I saw on Cred a company called Perfora. They were on
absolutely.
Shark Tank as well, right? They were giving that particular toothpaste at a very reasonable rate, like probably 65 rupees, and it comes to your home with no shipping costs. That is how I got to know that a toothpaste can also be good for your teeth and can taste good also, have a good after taste as well, right? And post that, I went to the marketplace and I started buying. I still don't go to Perfora on their website and buy,
Right.
because I know that I want the toothpaste the next day. And Flipkart and Amazon kind of makes that possible for me, right? Which Perfora can't. The kind of speed that Amazon and Flipkart give me, Perfora website on its own cannot give me that, right? So that is how important a website or a marketplace can be for you. The kind of things that they add to the customer's life. You may have a website of your own, but you may not be able to kind of deliver those kind of CVP metrics which the bigger marketplaces can.
Right. Also, Paddy, since you guys are working with a couple of D2C brands and digital first brands, right? What did you guys observe when you're working with them? Do they have their own kind of a website, and then do they do it, or do they do it through their product purchases? Like I've seen lately, there are some of these D2C brands which put a very simple QR code on their packaging where you could just go and collect some rewards, right? So what kind of trend did you see interacting with these D2C brands or these brands on the similar lines?
So, whatever Saket mentioned around the criticality of marketplaces, right? So, just everything is valid. Just adding adding more color to it. One is the discoverability, the sheer discoverability that marketplace brings. The second is credibility, right? If I am seeing a review of 5-star on a particular brand, and I go to the website and see this 5-star, again seeing the same rating on Flipkart or Amazon, it's a world of difference. So the credibility factor that marketplaces bring, it's crucial for D2C brands. And discoverability and credibility are two important things that marketplaces drive, which is also something that we've seen in our own interaction. Not couple, but we have 200 brands that we work with on the D2C side. And in our conversations, that's something that come up really with the founders in terms of how they are getting discovered, and also in terms of things like say in Multipl, it's a reward that people get when they are actually transacting, when they are investing. So the touch point that a marketplace can give a brand is very different from doing it by yourself, because there it's a sort of a push, right? I need to find that, oh, I need a toothpaste. I'm not going to search for a toothpaste. Most likely not, to come and find this perfora. But I am actually, like in Saket's example, I am on Cred, or I could be on Multipl doing something, a transaction which I wanted to make. At that point, I am discovering this brand. That is what a marketplace can sort of provide D2C brands, which is why it becomes super crucial. Of course, the costing and other advantages over the long run, brands doing it themselves, it has to be there. So it's a blend. Maybe we can talk about this later in the discussion, but it's not one against the other.
Yeah.
These are all complementary strategies,
kind of,
right?
Complementary is what
exactly.
The insight that I could get from here, because even when Saket was mentioning that they do have a website, but they end up buying on Flipkart for all of these reasons. And like you were rightly mentioning about this rewards and all of these things, right? Like you guys work a lot with rewards. So how crucial do D2C brands in the modern day and age, which are probably, I'm assuming that the brands that are there on your platform would be from 10 to 100 kind of a journey in their growth. So how crucial do they see these rewards like, and how much are they willing to spend, or what kind of, I mean, if you again, this could be a more of a finance kind of a question, but how do you see the spending like on these rewards through your platform?
This is, this is a simple math from a brand perspective, right? Is this a CAC that they can afford? Is this a new user that they are getting from the brand, or is it a repeat behavior that they are getting from the brand? So the CAC would vary accordingly. So it's a simple math that each brand will have its own dynamics to decide what is it that they can give. But it's as a strategy, the rewards really works, which we have seen on our side, which Saket just validated anecdotally from Cred for Perfora. So it really works because it is a discoverability thing, right? Many times people don't realize there is a brand. Many times they don't realize they need that brand. So when you're actually integrating this as part of loyalty or rewards, that is when the brands get discovered and brands get that attention from the right set of consumers. And that's where the right set also makes it important, which is what I was making as my first point. You need to know who are these audiences in these marketplaces, especially the niche marketplaces like Multipl or Cred for D2C brands against a generic marketplace like Flipkart or Amazon could be very different. In a niche marketplace, you need to segment and then identify the right audience. Then the rewards really works because it helps in discoverability. But the CAC itself is something that it is up to the brands to identify what the dynamics are going to be.
Like, I mean, I can completely resonate with the whole Cred example and Multipl example that you guys were touching upon. That once I have some reward points, which I know that I can spend only on certain brands, definitely I end up spending on them only. And I've in fact, I think some of my friends and my family members keep doing that just to try new products, because otherwise, why would somebody spend 200 or 300 kind of a thing, right? But there's this other side of the story. Probably on this Saket could probably give me a bit more insight, that some people go to marketplaces so that the marketplaces give some kind of rewards, right? So brand need not definitely spend on CAC in some cases, considering that early stage brands, it will be a very big pain to spend on CAC. So how could marketplaces play a huge role, and how are they playing a role from your learnings from Flipkart? Again, looking at marketplace, do you see that if the rewards are higher, their spending is higher, or the offerings are higher, then the brand uptake is higher? Do you see something like that
So
happening?
definitely, I'll take two things. I'll touch base on two things here. From a category perspective, right? Like every category, when they are planning their month, they ensure that they are supporting the right products on the platform. They ensure that they have some investments in place that they can give over and above the kind of rates that the marketplace sellers are offering on the platform, right? To make the platform competitive in nature. So even if the seller is not able to give enough discounts on the platform, marketplaces add some share of investment from their pocket to make the product reasonable on the platform. So that is one side of the story where marketplaces go above and beyond to ensure that D2C or any kind of products become very easy to buy on the platform in terms of being economical. The other side of the story is the super coins bit, right? So me being a consumer of Amazon as well as Flipkart, I've recently started buying on Flipkart more because on every purchase I get those super coins. And when I compare the prices of a product from Amazon and Flipkart, I always see that super coins make the platform cheaper compared to Amazon. And if I buy, I spend super coins and I get super coins in return as well. So it makes my purchase net effectively cheaper on the platform. So I think marketplaces have these super coins kind of things which allows a consumer to choose that particular platform because it makes it cheaper, right? Which again, if I have my own website, I probably will not be able to give these kind of rewards, right? And so super coins and these kind of rewards make it easier for a customer to come and buy from Flipkart.
And did you see any change from the? I mean, Supercoin. I think it existed for good 3-4 years now. I remember me collecting a lot of Supercoins and spending it on travel and a lot of other things on Flipkart, right? So did you guys see any such patterns where once the Supercoins started being offered? Did the brands get a lot more purchasing happen from the regular patterns? I mean, like, let's say somebody is buying one box of toothpaste. Then you're saying that, okay, you get more reward if you spend like, let's say, 1,000, 2,000. Do you see that pattern?
Two things which makes the conversion better on the platform. One is speed. So we preach, we tell the sellers to have better speed on the platform. So there are Flipkart-enabled warehouses across regions, right? North, South, East, and West. We tell the sellers to stock up their products, which makes the speed of delivery faster. Okay. So if you order today, probably Flipkart has recently started investing a lot on one-day delivery, right? So very recently I bought a product and I got the product the next day, right? So that was a great experience, and it doesn't let the customer change his mind on cancelling. So the RTOs kind of reduce.
I mean, it's in a way kind of rewarding you, right? Like I don't have to spend probably $500 to go somewhere on the other part of Bangalore to buy some electronic, which is having a single showroom. I'm ordering from Flipkart.
And the other thing is pricing. So because you're on the marketplace platform, there are some search insight tools which tells you that you should price your product 5 rupees lower. If you do that, you will start getting impressions, or if you'll start getting conversion by X. So the kind of data engineering strength that we have in the back end, because we have so many people coming, so many people buying at multiple price points, multiple seasonality, right? So our systems have learned that at this particular price range, you will get the best conversion. Right, so I think these kind of things you will only be able to get on marketplace. So these are the strengths that you can utilize on. So better pricing, better speed and selection. If your product has that kind of strength, it will definitely sell.
Right. I think the next one I wanted to discuss upon is the pricing part. Paddy, since you guys work with these brands a lot, like you rightly mentioned, do you see the brands fine-tuning or tweaking their pricing and reward systems dynamically? Because a lot of larger brands don't do that very often. From my experience of working with some of them, they take 6 months or 1 year to fine-tune. But do you see D2C brands doing more?
Not happening at the speed that we would like, to be honest, but like Saket mentioned, that's where a platform like Flipkart or Amazon can have so much of data insights to give you the pricing dynamism. But if you ask me today, it's a bit static than what I would want as a platform listing the brands or as a consumer, because people do go and search, and if there is any sort of a datedness to the pricing, then they actually, it also reflects on the platform, not just on the brand. The platform also takes a hit, so which is a reverse feedback that we take, and we'll have to have the conversation with the brands whether we want to, sort of delist or then sort of reprice. That's an exercise that needs to be done. So yeah, if the brands have to do this sort of dynamic pricing, and they'll have to be consistent to a large extent, and they need to be aware of competitor pricing as well as their own pricing across these channels. It's super crucial. If not many brands are doing, that is what I can say. But if the brands don't do that, they are the ones who will miss out in the long run.
Right, right. I think the next question, or probably the next topic that I wanted to touch upon, is the speed part, which we were discussing. Do you think that, or did you see any patterns as such where early brands which are offering at a higher speed against an established brand which is offering their product at lower speed, do you see that that is an advantage which can be piggybacked upon or leveraged by early stage brands where probably the customer ends up choosing? Did you see those kind of patterns in marketplace at Flipkart recently or any time? Would that be a case of an advantage?
We did actually. It creates a lot of difference if your speed of the product is not great on the platform, right? So the kind of sellers that we deal with, if they come from a D2C background or any background, when we tell them to invest their products into our warehouses, first of all, our warehouses, the kind of algorithms that we run, we are able to tell you that what kind of product should be shipped to which warehouse. So that makes your call easier to take rather than sending the products which may never sell versus the products which is going to come and stock out in the next 15 days. It makes a lot of difference. When you get those insights, like we plan the inventory, we tell them, send these particular stocks to this warehouse and it's going to stock out in the next 15 days because of the historical trends that we have seen across verticals, right? So that is the kind of data, and if you pounce on that kind of data and you are able to act on it, we have seen the conversions skyrocketing for these D2C brands.
Right.
But again, it's difficult, right? Like in the initial stages, because you have lower inventory, you are thinking, where should I keep my inventory? Should I have it only in one place, or should my inventory may not get stuck, right? So there is where recall facilities are also in place, where with a click of a button you can just recall all your inventory back. But the chances of that happening is very low. Why? Because our algorithms are designed in a way which tells you what kind of inventory you should send at first. We'll tell you to send like 3-4 products initially with 4-5 quantity items, and then as and when the system learns, right, it gives you more quantities as a prediction.
So from what I'm hearing from you, you are saying that the early stage brands should be very mindful in terms of the breadth at which they are going
Correct.
within the marketplace. Like if they have
Also the depth,
Yeah.
right? Like even if you are sending everything, you should not be like sending all of it, all the dispatch in one go. And obviously the platforms will also not allow you to do that. So
Okay.
Flipkart or Amazon, I'm sure they would be working at a very tight inventory space where they
Right.
want to maximize on the floor capacity, right? So they would not go ahead and tell a new brand to send a width of products with a depth of quantity, right? They will always tell you to send the top selling SKUs which are selling on the marketplace first. So that's the reason why enabling all your selection in the marketplace, it becomes very important because the system learns,
Right.
right? For example, if you have 50 SKUs and out of 50, probably 20 are selling, and out of 20, 10 are selling at a very rapid rate. So our system will first tell you to send 5 out of that 10, right? And then probably after that, it's going to be learning and
Right.
telling you to send more. So
Right.
that is how we also control the kind of inventory that we have in our warehouses.
Right. So, I mean, just to conclude our discussion, to summarize it, so one other thing that you're saying is marketplaces are definitely a right
Yes.
thing to do it for an early stage startup. And like Paddy was emphasizing on the rewards. So the rewards and marketplaces coming together would definitely add value to them. And also pricing it right, being mindful of the depth and the breadth,
Yes.
and the visibility. Instead of choosing their own platform, initially start on marketplaces and then move to their own platform, and then when they move to their own platform, then probably leverage somebody like Multipl or probably Cred to increase their sale or increase the whole reach is what something I think I would conclude with that and summarize our discussion. Thank you so much,
Thanks a
Paddy,
lot.
and thanks,
Thank you.
Saket. Thanks for doing this. Yeah, Ishita has one question. Yeah.
Sorry, I always have questions. But Paddy, with you, this one's for you. That, everyone looks at product-led growth, funding-led growth, all of this. How would you, tell founders or brands to look at partnership-led growth in something like Multipl, and how do they actually integrate this into their growth plan?
See, like I mentioned earlier, so it's as a platform like Multipl, if I have to speak from that. So this is we are collaborating with brands, the D2C brands, at specific user audience that we have, right? So, and we influence these decisions in a certain way. So it's important for the brands to understand that dynamics in terms of, this is a travel brand, and then travel is our biggest category of goals. So if there is a suitcase or anything to do with travel, like we have brands like Nasher Miles, Assembly that are working with us. So this is integrated at a travel goal level. So if they can understand that and then integrate, and if they want it, we can do that, right? We can give those insights to the brands. This is what the brands can do. I'm just taking travel as an example, but it could be applicable for various other categories as well. So that's where the platform like Multipl, it's an understanding of the user demographics and the categories that are popular there, and then they can actually integrate and then influence these purchase decisions. Thank you everyone.